I'm Gifty Jubin Fofi. I'm here to present to you the origin, practice, and the impact of social work in the political, social, and economic environment of England in the United Kingdom. It has been divided into 6 different categories, of which it is interrelated. The development of social work and its influence on contemporary practices. The impact of law on the role of social worker. Role of social worker in current social practice settings. Key requirements of professional bodies from the social worker. Similarities and differences of social worker job in the statutory, voluntary, and independent sectors. Finally, I'll touch on analysis of the main purpose and the values in the social work. Development of social work. What is a social work? Any activity carried to help an individual who needs assistance is termed as a social work. Who is a social worker? Any person who has been trained and registered with Social Workers Association and furthermore have a little knowledge about sociology. Beginning of social work. In 1889, there was 2 personalities who established an organization to raise funds to support vulnerable people, and they are Octavia Hill, a teacher by profession, Helen Bansequit, an economist. Their funds really help those time people who are vulnerable. There were some laws on the role of social workers. The law is one of the major tools used by then government to regulate the recruitment, training, and practices of social workers. Law before the Second World War was established to make then time work very easy. They also impacted another law after the Second World War, of which it lasted 40 years. These are some of the laws established to enhance the work of social work. The Children and Family Act of 2014, the Care Act of 2017, the General Data Protection Act of 2018, the Human Rights Act of 1998, Mental Capacity Act of 2005. The roles of the social worker in current settings. What do they do? Social workers should acquire academic qualification in social work and possibly in others like sociology. Support children, young people, and adults. Some of the roles are to safeguard vulnerable people from harm. The work in current practice setting. Also, you need to make a tough decisions and take action in case of non-precedent. A social worker should act as a guide and advocate. They should provide essential services in the individual homes, hospitals, and schools. Work with social work assistants like doctors, teachers, police, and even people in the community can help to achieve a target. Key requirements of a professional body. Any professional body must meet certain standards of the practice. They must demonstrate continuous professional development. That body must exhibit the understanding of the training required. That body must adhere to the standard and ethics set by the Social Work England to be able to renew their members' registration all the time. Similarities and differences of social work in statutory, voluntary, and independent sectors. The organization in social work have three main sectors. That's statutory, voluntary, and independent sectors. Under statutory sectors, local authority, national health insurance, they work under statutory sector. What about voluntary sector? They are non-profitable organization, and the example of those non-profitable organization is social welfare organization, World Vision, Red Cross, etc. Independent sectors are the private social bodies who help to promote the work of social work. What are the functions of the statutory sectors? They produce or they develop a care plan for their members. They also implement policies to safeguard the children and adults. Voluntary sectors also provide specific needs, provide service in communities. And finally, the independent sectors provide support to people who cannot do things on their own due to their mental ill health. Main purpose and values of social work. Use creativity way to solve problems on vulnerable people. You need to empower them through learning a skill by using either paper, either empty containers. You can use metals. You can use toilet roll holders, etc. to create something. And by so doing, you are empowering a vulnerable people in the society. Another purpose is to play a role as a critical friend, broker, and advocate. You need to educate people in the community to know what to do at what time. Enhancing parenting. You know, some parents abuse their children in their home, so they are not always in good mood to be active, moody all the time, and a social worker can get closer to help the child to feel free in everything that she or he doing. Ability to do value judgment and understanding conflict of interest. In this particular job, one cannot connive with anybody. You should go straight to the point. If it is A, tell them it is A. If it is B, tell them it is B. That is your job. One cannot do anything that goes contrary to the work he has acquired. In conclusion, charitable organizations like churches, they help people to get accommodation, give them food, and it do help people in them era. Government bodies like local authorities, like council, which is council, and national health services were backed by law to do whatever is expected of them to help social workers. Social workers also reduce the tension in the system by bridging the gap between rich and poor. References are under the write-up. Question time. If you have any question to be asked, I'm available to answer you. Thank you.